Chapter 6, The Death-Commanding Fish. Yang-Su and I were having a great time catching frogs. In just half an hour, we'd caught about 30 or 40, plenty enough. But if we went back now, old Jia and old Zhang would just work us like slaves again. So we decided to stall a little longer and take it easy. We chatted casually back and forth. He said to me, "Hey, you know what? Yang Lei from our class broke up with that guy from class 1. I was splashing water around with my hands. When I heard that, I grinned and teased him. Well, Brother Ian, you're well informed. You got a crush on her? Be honest, do you follow her around every day?" Yang-Su panicked, his face turning red. He stammered as he spoke, "Who's following her? If I followed someone, it'd be a pretty girl at least." The more I watched his silly look, the funnier it was. I laughed and said, "I don't believe you." He said, "I swear, if I liked her, you can splash water all over me." Holy hell, I'd never heard a demand like that in my life. So I cupped my hands and splashed water right over his head. By the time Sissy reacted, he was soaked. He started fighting back. But with my quick moves, was he going to hit me? I darted backward a few steps and out of his range. As I ran and laughed at him for being an idiot, tragedy struck. Our ancestors had a saying, "Extreme joy begets sorrow." I stepped on something, slipped, and plunged fully into the water. I choked on several mouthfuls. Yang-Su saw me fall and rushed to help me up. I stood from the water, coughed up some water, and cursed. "God damn it, what the fuck was that? So slippery." I looked down and saw a frog. I'd stepped flat. Yang-Su burst out laughing and said I deserved it. Karma. I was speechless, totally annoyed. I lost all mood for catching frogs. So Yang-Su and I went ashore, put all the dead frogs into a plastic bag, and headed back. The girls were sitting by a small charcoal fire, snacking away. When they saw how soaked we were, they laughed out loud. "Did you two take a romantic bath together?" Looking at their smug faces, I regretted not spitting on the frogs earlier before letting them eat. Old Jia and old Zhang had been off peeing. When they came back and saw us, they laughed too. "You two went for a lover's bath, huh?" I regretted not peeing in their baijiu earlier. Suddenly, I shivered all over. Soaking wet, I was freezing. I asked Yang-Su if he was cold. He said no, I was cold because I was weak. I cursed him. "You're the one who's weak. Your whole family's weak." Old Zhang cleaned the frogs, smeared on seasonings, skewered them with wire, and roasted them over the fire along with sausages and other things. Soon, the smell of grilled meat filled the air. Everyone had been fooling around all morning and was starving. We all swallowed hard at the scent. Old Jia chuckled, took out beer and liquor, and said, "Dig in. What are you waiting for?" We didn't need to be told twice. Everyone was already eating. We were all having a good time, so the girls drank too. Usually they acted all gentle and quiet. But once the alcohol hit, they got wilder than each other. Each grabbed a frog, didn't even take off the head, and stuffed it in their mouths. I was pretty impressed. They dropped all ladle-like pretense. They chewed noisily and cursed. "Fuck, that's hot as hell." After a while, I drank too much. My head spun, and suddenly I had to pee. Anyone who drinks beer knows there are two types, those who process it through the liver and those who run to the kidney. Unluckily, I was a kidney runner. I had to pee several times every time I drank. So I stood up, dazed to go pee far away. Behind me, the girls chattered for me to catch more frogs. They hadn't had enough. I cursed inwardly. "Catch my ass? If I catch any, I'll soak em in my piss first before you eat em." I stumbled a little way, looked back, and was far enough, could barely see them. I unzipped and peed into a small pool by the river. After finishing, I shivered like usual. Wait, guess what I saw? A huge fish was trapped in the pool. A massive carp, fully a meter long. It must have gotten stuck there when the water level dropped from the lack of rain lately. Huh. If I carried this fish back and said I dived in and caught it, I'd definitely shock those girls. Then my reputation as a guy who dives to the bottom of the 5 oceans to catch turtles would spread through school. All the pretty girls would rush to me. Drunk people really do think up ridiculous nonsense. It's true. Daydreaming about this impossible stuff, I jumped into the water. But the cold water jolted me fully awake. I realized the water that should have only reached my waist was suddenly bottomless. It rose way over my head. I choked hard on water. Luckily, I knew a little doggy paddle. I kicked hard and surfaced. When my head popped out, I saw this was no shallow pool. It was the open river. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Help!" But at that moment, I felt something grab my ankle, yanking me hard downward. Yang Su, old Jia, and the others, eating and drinking far away, seemed to hear me. They were running toward me, but it was too late. Whatever had my ankle was unbelievably strong. My head went under again. Icy water poured down my throat. My vision blurred underwater. I saw someone standing on the shore, an old woman in white clothes and a white hat, grinning at me evilly. Then I blacked out. Let me explain something about fish here. Many folk legends say that when water spirits look for a substitute, they turn into big fish trapped in shallow pools. If someone passing by has weak fire energy or is facing a bad astrological year, they get tricked into jumping in to catch the fish. What looks shallow is actually deadly deep. I felt like I slept for a very long time. When I woke up and opened my eyes, I saw a gray, hazy sky. I wasn't dead. I stood up and found my clothes were completely dry, but I had no idea where I was. I'd never been here before. Looking around, it was a street, but there wasn't a single shop on the sides. Cars passed by without making a sound, wobbling like they were made of paper. There were pedestrians on both sides, most wearing similar black clothes. I felt I'd seen that style somewhere before, but I couldn't remember where. They walked with their heads down, all in the same direction. Still no sound at all. The whole street was eerily silent. At first, I thought water had gotten my ears, but I clapped my hands and I heard the clear slapping sound. Wait, no. Didn't I fall into the river? Did Yang Su and them save me? But where were they? And shouldn't I be in a hospital? Could this be underwater? The Dragon Palace? No way. There was no water here. Nothing looked like a dragon palace. Did I travel through time and space? Back when I was a sophomore, online novels had just become popular. I was the type who kept a novel in my hand in class all day. I spent hours daydreaming to I am a great mage. When I woke up, I really thought I'd ice guide, but I didn't stay calm like those novel protagonists. Instead, I was terrified. It was way too quiet here. No matter how I called out to the passers-by in black, they ignored me. At most, they glanced at me once, then kept walking. Wait, black clothes? Fuck, I remembered. That familiar black outfit. When I walked past a wreath shop on the way to school, I'd always seen people hanging those exact clothes inside. These were funeral garments. One soul departed, 2 spirits ascended. That must have been me. Imagine waking up suddenly in a strange place with everyone around you wearing funeral shrouds, walking past you silently. What would you think? I'm sure 80% of people would think they were dead. But not me. I valued my life too much. I'd rather believe I'd ice guide than accept I was dead. Thinking back, I was just too young back then. I'd rather believe the world had Wu-Lai, Iron Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Teletubbies than believe in ghosts.